with library, test step library. So in test case section, we have this functionality called test step library. So the purpose of it is to reuse the test steps in multiple test cases. So for example, for one folder, we can create one library, not more than one library. Per folder, we can create one test step library. So in order to create the test step library, I have to right click on the folder and you can see create test step library option. Now we have created one library. So sometimes when we might have some test steps that we will be reusing in multiple test cases. So that kind of test steps we can add all of them to this library. So from this library we can access uh, the the reusable test steps. So for example, open URL. Let's take open URL and I'm creating one more test case. So for example, I have two test cases and test step open URL is being used in all the test cases, which means it's being reused in other test cases also. So the one way is I can directly copy and paste it here. Another way is using library, but there is an advantage of using library instead of copying and pasting. While we are using the copy paste, for example, if I'm directly copying and pasting the open URL, that time if I want to make some changes in the values, test step value within the test step, uh, it will be hard for us to go to each and every test steps that have been reused in multiple areas and we have to change the values. But by using the library, if I'm adding this open URL to library, so you can see the test step which is in library is called reusable test step block. So this is called RTB, in short form RTB, which means reusable test step block. So this one which we have added to the library will be turned to this icon, with this icon. So which means RTB reference. So it will be automatically affixed with underscore reference, which means it is RTB reference. And if I want to use the open URL test step in this second test case also, so that time I can drag and drop from the library the test step that I want to use in my another test case. I can directly drag and drop. Or another way is we can use this option also, search and add test step. So using this also, I can look for particular RTB that is present in the library and I can add that RTB to my test case. So I'm searching for open URL. So you can see the RTB will be coming up along with the modules. So in this way, we can add the RTB from the library to our test cases. So the one advantage is if I want, so we have open URL reference blocks in two test cases and there is some change in URL. So I can directly change it from library. So for example, I'm adding .com login, for example, card. I want to change the URL to something else. There is some change in the reusable test step block. So I can directly change it from library, and this change will be automatically reflected in other reference folders. So if we are directly copying and pasting that, we have to go to each and every test steps and we have to make the changes. But using the library, the one advantage is we can directly uh, change the value from library if any changes have been made in the application. And you can change the value from RTB, which is in library, or you can change the value from any reference folder also. The values will get changed. So this is the purpose of a library. So when we have some test steps that have been used in multiple test cases, we can use the library for easy access. Yeah, it will make that change will be reflected in library also. Yes,
Okay.
in any one place you can make the changes. Okay. So in some cases, we might reuse the test steps, but we want to give some different values in each references. So for example, uh, for the same login, you want to log in as different users. For example, um, you may have some AP user access point, and you may have different users called POC, point of contact, and you may have some different users in the name of approver. So different stages of users, but they all they all have to log in using the same login page. So in that type of scenario, the test steps will be the test step. Maybe if you take this entering login details, the test step that we want to enter will be same. The test step will be same, but the value we want to give, maybe email and password, will be different. So test step, I will want to reuse the test step, but the input I want to give should be different. So that type of scenario, what we can do is in library we can create the business parameters in order to give the different inputs to the reference blocks. So for login details, I'm creating one business parameter. Okay. So first I'm adding it to library. So after adding it to library, in order to create the business parameter, you can see create object option, or you can right click over the RTB and select the create business parameter container. So under this business parameter container, we can create the parameters. So in login, what and all details we want to give differently will be email and password. Other things will be same. So that time, um, for email and password, we can create the business parameters because for those two controls, we want to give the different inputs in each references. So I'm creating one parameter for email ID, and I'm creating one business parameter for password. So after creating, we have to link this business parameter to the values. So I'm changing the data type to string. because we are not giving the value directly, we are going to give the value using a business parameter. So we have to link the business parameter values to this um, controls, test step values. So one way is you just drag and drop the business parameter to the test step value. So it will be like this. So or we can directly enter the value using the function PL. So this is password. So if I want to reuse this RTB entering login detail, I can drag and drop as usual, but you can see I can only see the business parameter in references. Even in the first reference, you can see the business parameters only will be visible. So we can enter the values we want to enter here. So maybe here in the reference, I want to enter some different and password, and here in this reference I may want to give different value AP and G. So in this way we can use the test tape library and we can give different inputs to the test tape values. So other values, other test tape values, this verification, remember me, clicking on login, other will be same for all the references, but only these two values will be different because we have created the business parameters for that. Got it? Any question?
No, no questions.
Okay. So this is library and business parameter that we can use in library, test tape library. And okay, okay. Then we'll see about loops and condition. So how can we use the loops and condition in our test cases? Creating a folder. Okay, I guess you would have known already uh, what is loops and conditions. So normally in Tosca we have two loops and one condition. So one is while loop and another one is do while loop, and condition if statement. So we'll see one by one. First I'll create the while loop, creating one separate test case for that. Okay, so in order to create the while loop, we have to right click on the test case, and these are the three loops and conditions. So the first one is if statement, the second one is do statement, and the third one is while statement, while loop. So I'm adding that to my test case. So within while, we will have two parts. One is condition and another one is loop. So in condition, we will be giving the condition that we expect expect that to be satisfied in order to execute few steps in our application. So in loop means it will certain steps will be executed again and again until the condition goes fail. So uh, this is how while loop will work. Based on the condition that we are giving in the condition part, whatever test steps we are adding within the loop will get executed again and again. And in property side, if we see, maximum repetitions will be 30. So by default, even if it is do while loop, the maximum repetition will be 30, which means if I have given some condition and it's getting passed for more than 30 times, but even if it is passed, the loop will get stopped after 30 times, after 30 times of repetition. So if we can change the value here to we can change it to 50 or 5, even 5. So by default it will be 30. The maximum repetition for while loop or do while loop will be 30. So we'll see one scenario from a demo shop. Okay. So I'm adding some product to my cart. Okay. The requirement is I want to verify if the cart is empty. If the cart is empty in the sense if there is no product in the cart. If it is if it is not empty, I want to remove all the products from the cart. One by one, I want to remove all the products that I have added to my cart one by one until the cart uh, until the cart gets empty. I want to remove all the products have been added. So the condition we can add here for while loop maybe so for okay, I'll remove all the product ones. Okay, so you can see if there is no product in the cart, we will get uh, one text saying your shopping cart is empty. Or you can see the table with all the product details have gone vanished, which means it goes unexisted. So in either way, we can add the condition to our while loop. I can add this your shopping cart is empty text to my condition, and I have to verify if it is visible in the shopping cart page. I can do this as condition, do this verification as condition, or I can verify if the table is present or not. So either way, we can add the condition to the while loop. And if the table is present, so in our case, I'm going to add the condition with the verification of if the table is not present. So if it is present, there is some item in my cart. So I'm going. What I'm going to do is in condition part, I'm going to add the test step. If the table is present, I want to remove the item. So if the table is not present, which means there is no item present in the cart. So in the cart, so in the condition, what I'm going to add, I'm going to verify if the table is present. So I'm going to verify this table exists. Okay, if this is the condition, if the table is present, I want to remove the product. So So in order to remove the product, we have to check in the checkbox in first row and we have to click on update shopping cart. So I'm selecting the first row and cell name is remove and checkbox true. So here I have to change the action mode to select and we are checking in the remove checkbox and I'm clicking on update shopping cart. So in this step, we will remove the item of the first item present in the table. And after it does, it removed the uh, item. It again will verify the condition, and if it is true, it will again do the stepping loop. So I'm going to execute this test bed. So if we take the repetition, so in the first repetition, it verified the condition and the condition was successful, so it executed the loop. And in second and third step, the same thing. And in fourth repetition, it verified the condition, but it failed, so it stopped the loop. So this is how while loop will work. And next, do while loop. In the same way, we can use do while loop, but the only difference is, so I'm adding do while loop to this condition. So just right click and create do statement. So the only difference between while loop and do while loop is, so in while loop the condition will be first and loop will be second. But in do while, the loop will be first, which means no matter if the condition is getting passed or not, the loop will get executed for the first time, and then it will do the verification. Whatever we have given in the condition, it will verify, and if it is passed, it will do the loop. It will execute the loop, and again it will verify the condition. So the thing is, for the first repetition, it will not do the verification whatever in the condition, and it will execute the loop. From the second repetition, it will verify the condition and it will execute the loop based on the condition. So this is the only difference between while loop and do while. So the same scenario we can execute using do while. Let's see. Um, so in condition, I'm going to add the whatever we have given in while loop, the same scenario, but we are going to execute using do while. So the repetition for while loop there were 4 repetition, but for do while it is 3 only, because it executed the loop for the first time and then it verified the condition. So in the repetition 3, it executed the loop, and when it verified the condition, it passed. So it stopped the loop, and there is no repetition 4. So based on the scenario that we are working, we can choose any of the loop. And then if condition, I'm adding the if condition. So the difference between loop and condition is, so if until the condition is getting passed, the loop will get executed, but it will the steps will be repeated, but here only one time the then part will get executed. So based on the condition, whatever we have given in the condition, the then part will be executed one time. And this is if condition, and if you want to add the else part, which means if the condition is passed, I want to execute the then. If it is failed, I want to execute some other steps. So that time we can add the else to our if condition. So just right click on the if statement, and you can see create else statement option. So this is optional. If you want, you can add. So if the condition is passed, the then part will get executed. If it is failed, the else part will get executed. So for example, uh, I have blue jeans in the cart. So my requirement is I want to verify if the blue jeans is present in my cart, present in my shopping cart. If it is present, I want to remove it. I want to remove it. And if it is not present, I want to click on continue shopping and I want to add the blue jeans to my cart. So for example, if it is present, I want to remove it. If it's not present, I want to click on continue shopping and I want to add in some other product. So this is the requirement. So what we can do in condition, I have to verify if the blue jeans is present in my cart. Verifying blue jeans in my cart. So first row, uh, product. In product cell, I want to verify. So in order to verify it, I'm using outer text property and it should be blue jeans. Okay, so it will be verifying if the blue jeans product is present in my cart. If it is present, I want to remove that. So removing, so I'm selecting first row and remove. So I want to remove if it is present. If it is not present, I want to click on continue shop. First, I'll run it with the condition passed, then I will run it with the condition failed. We'll see. I'll add different product to the cart. So the condition is passed, so it executed the then part and it ignored the else part. So now there is no blue jeans to my cart and I'm going to execute, which means the condition is failed.